I always think it's funny when people ask the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? Because 5 years ago, I would not have imagined that I would have run for office and been an elected prosecutor. Hi, I'm Parisa Dehghani-Tafti, and I am the Commonwealth's attorney for Arlington County and the City of Falls Church. While I was in college, a friend of mine was convicted of a crime that he didn't commit. And my parents had always raised me to really give back by solving problems that I had the skills and the opportunity to solve. And that really struck me while watching my friend go through a trial that was incredibly unfair, and that it took 5 years, but still the California Court of Appeals said was unfair and reversed his conviction. But watching him go through that initial trial and watching how unfair it was and watching all of that unfairness unfold made me realize that I wanted to get into the law, and specifically into criminal defense, in order to prevent that kind of thing from happening. So I started applying to law schools, but I also went to work for the Public Defender Service of San Francisco as an investigator. And I was working on death penalty cases, which I took with me to the law firm that I went to. I got the first DNA exoneration in DC and proved that the FBI lab tech had actually lied about conducting any analysis at all. One of the cases that sticks out to me the most from the Mid-Atlantic Innocence Project days are Lamar Johnson, who is just a kind, sweet, just an incredibly gentle person. And he's the only person who I ever promised I would get out of prison. That was a case where even the victim's family knew that the wrong person was convicted, and they kept trying to tell people that the wrong person was convicted. And because he was misidentified, nobody would listen. And it took 13 years from the time he was convicted until we got the exoneration in his case. I worked about 9 years on the case. But it was one of the best moments of my career when Lamar walked out of the courthouse after being exonerated, particularly because he's the only person I ever promised that I would get out of prison. I decided to run for office because I had worked from the defense side and the innocent side, and I knew all of the things that could go wrong in the system. I knew that the way that a prosecution is run made a big difference in how a case resolved. And I looked around and I saw what was happening in Arlington and the City of Falls Church, and I fundamentally didn't agree with it. Ultimately, I made the decision to run because I wanted to make change from inside of the system, and that's where I thought I could be effective, to bring the knowledge and bring the experience and bring a different kind of vision towards what this role could be. One thing that we're doing very differently is that we have never asked for cash bail since I came into office. And cash bail, what ends up happening is that somebody ends up sitting in jail simply because they can't produce the amount of money that they need to get out. I fight for resources in the office. We need to protect the progress we've made. We have a restorative justice program that's just budding. We have a behavioral health docket, which we want to increase in size. We have a drug court, which we want to get to full capacity. We have other diversion programs that we are working on and that I'd like to even expand on. And it's important to me that victims get restitution when they are owed it. So I'd like to create a fund for that. So I don't know where I will be in 5 years or 10 years, but I do know one thing, is that I will be serving the community in the best way that I can see myself serving.